we have a question from Kinsey. She's talking about the Yelly app that was developed by a waitress. It's basically an online training manual that continues to give management the ability to issue quizzes and throw out new menu item information, and also follow the employee's progress. Or does she have a system that they're using that like this?
So is the question, do we know of systems that do that?
Yeah, I mean, something like that, as well as the.
So that's a terrific. That would be a terrific way to go. I think that the learning management system, that's where I was going with things like Wisetail and tools like that, because they're bigger, they're comprehensive, they can make sure everybody gets the same training, and that it's consistent. I think that there are a lot of really great apps on there, and it would be fantastic to put that into action and get it going. Did that answer your question, Kinsey?
Rick, I'd like to add one thing though, because it's for your workers. I would recommend that whatever LMS or app or application you're looking at, make sure that it's mobile friendly, because that's how your employees will be accessing. Most of them probably won't have a traditional desktop computer, but they definitely have an iPad or an iPhone. Or
Excellent point, Lex. All right. And speaking of systems, go all in. One of the mistakes that I see people make is that they have an issue and they think by throwing a system in, it's going to fix the issue, when in all actuality, it's the process that's broken. So you record the process, you make sure that the process is smooth, then you layer a system or a piece of technology on top of it. If you do it the other way, you're going to get the same results that you've gotten in the past. It's going to be a system that doesn't work, a system that is hard to use for you, because the process hasn't been recorded, documented, and smoothed out, and then have the system layered on top of it. You really want to have these repeatable results, and that a system will deliver that provided that the processes have been recorded. And this is something you can do in every area of your business. It doesn't matter what it is. You can break down and record the process, then layer some kind of a system. And it doesn't have to be technology, computer system. It can be just a system or a way of doing things that's replicable, that shows up in your ops manual, and everybody does it this way. Everybody turns a ketchup bottle up a certain way or puts it in a stand. It can be something as simple as that. It's just the system. Everything needs to be systemized, but go all in. The second point there is to use technology, but minimize the number of systems. So not everything has to be best of breed. If you have, 20 different pieces of software where you're logging in to 20 different pieces, unless you've got lots of time, that can be really distracting. And you can forget passwords, so on and so forth. It also can make your training longer. And don't jump on every tool, because there's so many great pieces of technology. Every single day, I probably get 10 emails with, hey, try this, hey, try that, hey, we'll give you this, free trial this, free trial that. Just pick your lane and stay in it. Don't jump on there. Don't go after the best of breed in every single area. Have adequate tools that work really well together. Be able to teach them. Then if there's a best of breed that comes along, and you already have that process down, documented, it works really well, and there's a better mousetrap, then you could switch out to it. But be very cautious of jumping on every tool that comes out, because it changes very rapidly. And most of the time, these companies, they want to get out, they want to get market share, and then they want to sell. And then they sell to the same people that you used to use their last tool. So it's kind of like, Waze and Google, right? It's like they built this up, they sell it, they're out, and the tool kind of stays where it is and doesn't move forward as it had. Automate as much as possible, but don't lose that kind of aesthetic. Touching that data is really, really important. Touching your process is really, really important. Set it and forget it. Provide useful, accountable daily information to your staff. If you want to run contests, we see a lot of success with that, right? The reason that they're so successful is because you're communicating that data every day to the people that are performing the work. So providing accountable data every day to your staff, whether it's just a whiteboard that you write some key numbers on, will change your business and make it very understandable, easy, and people feel like they're in the know. So that's important for the staff. They have to feel like they're owners. To build that ownership mentality, they have to feel like they're owners. So mine your data for marketing is some of the exciting things that I've seen come out of the new POS systems. Is I've been really focusing on marketing. So the ability to build these wonderful email lists to activate the guests, and text messages, so on and so forth. Loyalty programs like Chick-fil-A has that use geolocations and they can text receipts and things like Starbucks, where you're building up points and you can redeem them. All of this systemization around the guest as far as marketing and loyalty has been absolutely breakthrough, and it has been refined, and it's really good. And if you're not on it, you need to get on it. Even if you're a single location, people should still be using some kind of a loyalty program, because most people now have switched over to kind of a tablet-based system that traps a lot of this data. They'll sell it back to you. You have to subscribe, but it's really great stuff. So optimizing that marketing data from your POS and from your loyalty program is critical for building that repeat business and getting people to bring in their friends too. And then use a great BI tool and share that data. So that chart that I showed you a little bit earlier, that came from our BI tool. If people understand the data, they can make change to their behavior. So make sure you're using a great BI tool and then share that data out. Is there another question there, Lisa?
Yeah, this one's from Sarah. Can you give examples of what you talked about with the front and back of house portioning during idle moments?
Yeah, that would be things like if you're portioning out dressings, for example, and you put your dressings in ramekins and things like that. Those can all be done by the front of the house. The people on the line, obviously in the kitchen, making sure that meats are weighed out, and virtually everything is all the way down to, French fries or in some kind of a baggie or apparatus that they're portioned out. Whatever you use the most of, you want to make sure that those get portioned. And don't be afraid to use the front of the house if there's something that they can do. If you have a line where they can pop on the end of the line and they can do some portioning, and it's slow, let them do it. So it doesn't have to just be a back of the house activity. It can be front of the house as well. And that's what I'm talking about. And that really came from one of our clients, where they're like, well, the front of the house, they can pop back there and they can help the back as well. And it works really well, because portioning everything out takes time. And if we don't use the idle time to do it, it just doesn't get done. And then we get inconsistent results, and we get poor, financial hygiene around the cogs.